Okay. Today's mini lesson, what we're going to be doing is what's called graphing an equation in slope-intercept form. All right. Like I said, as I was kind of introducing it earlier, this is a really interesting topic that we need to make sure we understand for moving forward in our other math classes. It's a really important topic as it relates to graphing. Slope-intercept form. What that phrase means is it's written as an equation in this form here. So you'll hear y equals mx plus b. It looks like a jumble of letters. You're not 100% sure. M and b are just, they'll be numbers. Okay. So m is what's called our slope. And we all know like what that word slope means, right? It's kind of how the line goes, whether it's going up or down. And then y-intercept means where your graph or where your line crosses the y-axis. All right. So you have your x and y. Right? Your y-intercept is just any point along the y-axis where your line crosses. So like, for example, if I were to draw this sketch here, this point right here where I drew that circle, that's your y-intercept, where it crosses that line. All right. Your slope is whether it's going this way, which would be a negative slope, or going this way would be positive. It's just from each point, how many are you going down and over? All right. That's all slope tells you. Okay. Any questions about just kind of a brief intro into that idea? Okay. So what I want to do first, before we get into actually graphing, is I just want to write out like two equations, and I want us to just identify the slope and the y-intercept are going to be given that equation. All right. It's going to be written very similar to this, except now we're going to introduce numbers. So say I have like y equals 3x plus 1. All right. M is your slope. It's the number that's written right next to x. So given this equation, what number is written next to x? What would be your slope? 3. So we'll just write m equals 3. And when we're writing our slope, because we're dealing with how many points we go over and down, let's start writing this as 3 over 1. Because technically any whole number, right, is just that number divided by 1, right? That's how we get that whole number. So m is 3 over 1. All right. And then my y-intercept is this b value, whatever's being added to that. So in this example, what's b? 1. And the way that we're going to write this is the point 0, 1, because b is technically a point on our y-intercept. So we're going to plot that point and then draw our line using the slope. And we'll see that in the next couple examples. Everybody good with that so far? I mean, if you want to move, you can move too. What about this example? What if I said the equation negative 2x minus 3? What number is my slope? So what number is being multiplied by x? Positive or negative? Negative 2. It's written there, negative 2. So m is negative 2, but how do I want to write this? Not just negative 2, but negative 2 over 1. My y-intercept, it's whatever that other number is that's being added or subtracted to that. What number is that? Negative 3. So how would I write that as the point? 0, negative 3. So the first thing that you're going to do in any of these equations, what we're going to do in the next couple of examples, is identify first what my slope and my y-intercept are, because that's going to help me plot the points and draw the line that I need to for that equation. Okay. Everybody understand? Any questions up until this point? So we're going to do two examples. I'll walk you through the first one, and then we'll do the next one a little bit more collaboratively. All right. So I'm just going to create a little XY plane here to help me out. And I'm graphing the equation y equals 2x plus 2. Okay. First thing I want to do is identify my slope and my y-intercept. So what is my slope here? So 2, it's just the number in front, so don't include the variable. That's okay. And I want to write that how, not just 2, but 2 over 1. What's my y-intercept? So where is it crossing the y-axis at what point? 2. And how would I write that as a point? 0, 2. So like I said, first thing we do, identify the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. How we use this information to help us plot points is as follows. Start with the y-intercept. Y-intercept 0, 2. So if I'm plotting that point, do I go to the left or right any? No, where do I go? Up 2 when I plot that point. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my slope to help me plot the other points. The reason that we write this as a fraction is because whatever this number is in the numerator, that's how many we go up or down. And the number in the denominator is how many times we go to the right. You're always going to go to the right. If it's positive, do you think we go up or down? If it's negative, where do you think we go? Pretty self-explanatory, right? If it's positives up, negatives down. So what I'm going to do here is take my slope. I know it's 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 and then to the right 1. And that's my first point. And I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go up 2 to the right 1. That's my second point. And I'm going to draw this line through those 3 points. So I don't have to worry about plugging in values, finding x's and y's. All I'm doing is plotting the y-intercept to start to the point 0, 2. And then I'm going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. If it was negative 2, you'd go down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, and it would look a little bit different. But that's all you have to do for each of these examples, okay? Any questions about that? Let's do one more example. All right. My equation now is y equals negative 3x minus 2. What's my slope? Negative 3 over 1. Good. What's my y-intercept? Negative 2. So what's that as the point? 0, negative 2, right? Don't forget that it's a point, not necessarily just that only value. So the first thing I do is plot the point 0, negative 2. Where am I going to go? Am I going to go to the left or right any? No, where do I start by going? Down 2. All right, I plot that point first. Now I need to use my slope to help me plot the next point. So where am I going to go? Up or down? Okay, I just couldn't hear you. Well, if it's negative 3, down 1, 2, 3, and then where? Where? Across to the right, right? 1. And then you would keep going through that process, and then you just draw your line. Remember.
For the last 30 minutes of school today, the boys' bathroom by the cafeteria is now closed. Any students that need a boys' bathroom on first floor north, please use the boys' bathroom on the Internet Cafe. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Okay. So anytime we have a positive slope, we go up and to the right, negative slope down and to the right. You're always going to the right, regardless. And it's always just going to be to the right 1. But that number, if it's negative, you go down, positive, you go up. All right. Plot the y-intercept first, then use the slope to plot the other points. Are there any questions about either of those examples or anything that we covered today? Okay.